Uh, Finally going to begin the Factorio series I was planning. I've already tried and failed to begin a good recording twice now. So now hopefully we can finally get started. So the plan for currently is to obtain enough resources to start automating some things. This is going to be the tedious part. At least until that one island of tedium much further in where you have enough technology to mass produce, but then the new problem is everything is so inefficiently laid out from before because you weren't planning on the future. I haven't done Factorio in a long time. Oh, and look at this. This production rate is going to be miserable. While that's working, I might as well obtain stone. Minecraft levels of manual labor. Of course, it could potentially be relaxing or even fun, but it's certainly not efficient. Going to need to prioritize iron plate production. Soon we can begin the automation of harvesting of coal and stone. This is literally the most unfactorio part of the whole game. There was a time warp mod that I used to use in order to get through this phase faster. Yeah, that looks like enough for 2 more of these. Which is exactly how many we need to automate coal. Now I just need the stone to do this with. We can actually have a look here. Almost no pollution yet. And now finally we can just do this. Problem solved. We never need to do this manually again. And that process will continually feed itself, expending some of the coal harvested to sustain its own process. And we can come back to that later. Now, the only 2 things not automated are distribution of coal and stone harvesting. I prefer not to use burner inserters because of how much I hate them. I'm going to do all of that manually until we reach the electric age, which is surprisingly not far away. Well, unsurprising to me, because I've done this, 1,000 times now? Oh look, our first setup here has already mostly disintegrated. There. Yes, this looks good. We can make another one of these on the copper to get prepared for electric age. Now, also going to need some more wood for the power poles themselves, of course. That should be plenty. Now, to fuel the copper, after fueling this one here because I noticed it was running low, and let that process. Yes. Now we still need stone. I might as well just make a crude setup for stone harvesting right now, because this is getting irritating as well. And then once we get electric miners, these burner drills, what are they actually called? Burner mining drill. They're going to be completely obsolete. And since you can't upgrade them into anything, they just become trash that floats around and irritates you. And so I usually just make a box and put them in the box, and that's where they rest for the rest of the game. There. I don't need to worry about that anymore. There. And now we almost have enough resources to advance. Oh, this is not mining very quickly. Disappointingly slow even. I think power generation should happen up here, out of the way. There's no reason to have it clogging up our valuable empty space. So we're going to want to have refinement happen in its own enclosed location, probably here, which will then have a bus sent out with the processed resources to the production zones, which I would prefer to be modularly located. And distribution of these resources is going to be critical. Busing is the part of Factorio that I've always been bad at. This looks appropriate. Now we can begin the basic setup. Belts and arms are going to cost so many resources to begin with. And we're not going to be able to supply those resources very quickly until we actually have electricity running to everywhere. No. This area up here looks perfect. Get this out of the way. There. Now we're going to want one of these first. And that should feed into... hold on. We're going to want pipes, probably. Yes. This looks too cramped. The power area should have plenty of room. More pipes. Always the solution to the problem. There. And this can now fit here. Temporarily. This area is becoming more crude by the second. I'm going to preemptively have this run down through this area. to everywhere where it needs to go. There. Not done with this part. Still need to manually distribute so much of this. Next. Going to need to... actually... no. We're not quite to the level of electric mining yet. And until we can afford the belts to transport all of this coal, we're going to need to rely on manual transportation. Fortunately, it seems that it banks the power availability, the steam, until it's used, so none of the power is wasted. That's very... I don't even know what to say. Never mind that. Copper is what we're running the most short on currently. Next. There. So now with this, we're almost to having the power self-sustaining. Which is necessary before we have anything else automated. Oh, this manual crafting is going to become so grating. Automating the crafting is going to become a priority, I'm sure. And this will be the path the coal takes. And look at that. We're only halfway there, and we've used all of our metal, iron. Temporary solution to a permanent problem. And, there. Now we're going to need to resupply on iron before anything else. Probably a good idea to preemptively clean this out first, though. Yes. And then the path can come through here. We're going to be manually transporting coal down here for a while, I'm sure.